Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to this 12-12 preparation activation. So I am here with the amazing Jamie Wozny,
Hello.
and we are going to have a little bit of a chat of the energies that we're picking up because we are both sensing a lot going on, and then we're going to move into an activation. And all of this is with the intention of preparing us energetically to move through this very pivotal portal on 12/12. So, for anybody who's new, my name is Rachel. I am an energy channel and an intuitive healer. And I will let Miss Jamie Wozny introduce herself.
Yeah, thanks, Rach. I'm Jamie Wozny, an intuitive as well. And I recently had a friend tell me I flow source. So I was like, oh, that's a cool way to describe myself. So I'm happy to be here flowing source with you, helping you come back to your authentic truth and shine your light.
Hmm. So, whenever we were chatting before this, before we clicked to record, both of us were really feeling the energies of a lot of amped up energies, presenting as irritation, presenting as anxiety. And so I think it would be helpful to kind of speak to that a little bit because as the energies are shifting so rapidly, our humanness and our mental body, our mind is trying to adjust to them. So is there anything that you want to say about that, Jane?
Yeah, just as I've personally been navigating, it's interesting to say this. It sometimes with the extra anxiety, I'll just say this is a miscommunication in my brain because the anxiety, our brain doesn't know we're evolving and we're moving into these higher ways of being, which we're going to talk about today. So with love and compassion and gentleness, I'll just be like, this isn't actual threat. This isn't actual danger right now. And I'll do something just to try to help my body feel safer, some sort of, well, I like body-based nervous system tools. Just to really, and we kind of talked about this in our last activation, but ground into the present, ground into just right, slow it all down with all this ascension, right? It's like right here, right now. So having that higher awareness of, I know this is intense, I know this is a lot, but I don't necessarily maybe have to let it be my Bible, so to speak. I can just breathe with it and nurture it as best as I can.
Mm. Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
And I know, like how we talked a little bit before, today, I had this like irritation energy and my mind wanted to keep placing it on things. And I
Mm.
had to keep bringing myself back to center. Like, I can be experiencing this energy, but we're not going to find then something to place it on. And so again, it was just bringing myself back into that. What did you say? This is a miscommunication. I love
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
because that's exactly what it was. My humanness was experiencing a lot of influxes of energy,
Yeah.
and an old program or old something was like, I must be irritated. What am I irritated with? Oh, it's that. Or it's that. I'm like, no, no, it's not.
Ah, I know that feeling.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's so brilliant. I don't even know if you would know what you just said, but I'm going to just like highlight it. I can feel this way, but I don't have to place it on something. That is so empowering. That is conscious creatorship. That is taking responsibility. And that's like, I'm just going to give this a safe place to process or whatever it is. Is there something that you do in those moments where you're like, oh, I'm not going to place it on something. This is my practice instead?
So it's really redirecting the mind,
Mm,
because, I kind of feel like once we get in a loop, then we can, we perpetuate that energy. But I recognize that not only is my body adjusting to these new
mm,
frequencies,
mhm.
but so is my mind. And I feel like there's an alchemical process that just naturally occurs when you don't fall into an old ego pattern or what your mind is trying to gear your energy towards.
Mm.
And so I recognize that there's alchemy in saying, this is not the case here, and I'm not going to go there, right? And so I just bring myself back, and then I'll bring myself back into my body just with some deep breaths
Yeah.
and I'm not fighting the irritation or the anxiety. I'm not, resisting it, even though I want to, and because I don't like it because it's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
I'm not resisting it. And I'm just allowing it to naturally dissipate because I'm not allowing my mind, then my emotions to continue this loop. And I'm not
Mm.
resisting, but I'm just kind of bringing myself back into my body. So that has been my practice, definitely today. But as these influxes of energy, and then my mind tries to attach an old story or an old program to it, which, like you said, it's a miscommunication. This has nothing to do with that old story or program or whatever my mind wants to place something on.
Yeah, I love that practice. I almost want, and I don't know whether that looks like a prayer or intention or just like a couple sentence of guidance to like, if we're experiencing that, like what would that look like? Because mine's similar. Mine is breath and presence. It's like just slow it down and can I be present with it? Um, but it's cool. You could do things like I'm not going to attach this to something, or sometimes I'll say without the story. So I'll kind of you know, um, like if there was a whiteboard and I'm erasing the whiteboard and I'm like kind of dumb about the thing I'm upset about, like there's no story attached to this. It's just energy. And can I be with the energy?
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know if that's something that you feel like doing, but like a 60-second or something, if I was experiencing it, how would you take yourself through it? But if it was me, so that everybody could kind of have a moment to release their attachment from whatever they're putting it on right now and really like let go of some of that energy
Oh, yeah, definitely.
as part of this prep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's an immersive experience.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay, cool. Are you guiding it or do you want me to guide it?
Oh, I would love for you to guide it. I was going to be the like recipient for all of us.
All right, all right.
And then if you want me to throw in anything at the end, I can do that too.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, let's just as a quick exercise, not the complete activation yet, but
Yeah.
just an exercise.
Yep.
Placing your hands upon your body wherever they want to go. A lot of times my hands naturally want to go to my abdomen somewhere, to my heart space, but wherever your hands want to go, just place them upon your body. And what has been that energy you've been experiencing? Maybe it presents as anxiety, stress, fear, agitation. What is that? Now, where does your mind want to take you? The mental loops, placing it upon something. One of my very first teachers on my spiritual journey, a disciple of Paramahansa Yogananda, gave an example that's coming to me now where her and her husband were traveling in an RV and he had to stop suddenly and she had a heavy jar of peanut butter that fell on her toe and it hurt her. And then she experienced frustration, anger, and she wanted to yell at her husband. But she stopped herself because that would just be displacing the energy. And so instead, she accepted that that happened and it hurt and she felt angry and she just allowed that to be instead of attaching it to anything. So, can you, with whatever that old story, those thoughts, those loops, wherever they've been. As Jamie said, can you just see it as a whiteboard and just erase it? Maybe they are projected back upon yourself, the old stories of something being wrong, not good enough. Can you erase the story, clearing the attachment? And bring yourself now back into your body. Breathing deeply into your stomach. And allowing yourself just to be with whatever energy has been presenting itself. Through love and compassion. This is truly the essence of self-mastery. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes and just come back. And whether we witnessed it or experienced it on a conscious level or not, there was an alchemical process that occurred. Every time you pull your energy back from where old programs or stories want to take you, every time you do that, you gain more and more mastery over your internal reality. And of course, that leads to conscious creation of our external.
Wow. That was beautiful. Where do I donate? So good.
There's a link in the description.
Thanks. That's amazing. Wow. That was amazing. And I hope we can timestamp to that too, just even the exercise.
Good idea.
Because so something interesting was happening, and I'll share because like you guys share in the comments too of what shift you just felt. Hobbs, I don't know, could you hear him chewing his bone?
No.
It was gnarly loud, gnarly loud. And so I'm going, oh my God, this is so uncomfortable. And I got real quiet with it and was like, I'm feeling self-consciousness, shame, embarrassment. You're not professional enough. I don't know, just shit. Like my dog's chewing on a bone. My boyfriend put him in here because he left for the gym, so he wasn't out there by himself. The minute, and he chews on his bone normally for a long time, let go of it, erased the chalkboard, came back in, felt that gnarly shame and self-consciousness. And also, if this is something you guys are doing, sometimes it's easy just to feel the sensation in the body. So like the heat, the pressure, because our brain doesn't loop so much if we do that. He stopped immediately and got up on the bed and laid down. And I was like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah, because we are, and Rachel and I were talking about this before this. We are so, and as we move through the 1212 portal and as we continue to ascend, we're so powerful. I find myself saying that constantly. We don't know. We live in a world where we forget. We don't know we have the ability to consciously create things. And so it looks like, oh, my dog's just embarrassing me right now. Or I'm embarrassed because I don't know how to, because my mind's going, oh my God, I'm going to have to go, excuse me, guys, let me go. But like, whatever, we're all human. I've had to do, excuse me, guys, 1,000 times. But our energy is so powerful that my shift, your shift, was affecting him. It was keeping him doing that for some reason. And then he shifted. He might not know why he shifted, but we think we're victim. to our surroundings. And yes, sometimes the stuff we experience is horrible and we need friends there for us and we need some trauma healing and all of these things. It's not to invalidate our experience that we created, but how cool also that when we two-step process, like Rach, I love what you said. It's like another level for me. Like stop putting it on something, breathe the energy for a minute. That's spiritual mastery. That's not easy, guys. That's uncomfortable. But look, no, it's not easy, but I just got what I wanted. My dog laid down and quietly and is sleeping behind us. Like how cool that that just shifted. So it's like, well, I can endure that pressure in my chest and heat in my belly for a few breaths so that I can alchemize and change my reality. This is the new earth. Like the fact that we have this much power to have these beautiful experiences in our life.
Oh my gosh, that's powerful. Just like a in the moment example of how the alchemy directly impacts, because we're all one,
Yeah.
directly impacts our environment
Yeah.
and others.
Yeah.
And the 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 mental loops when we attach it to something, that's the ego trying to solve the problem. But
Mhm.
it's not. It's perpetuating, could be perpetuating the problem as reality reflects us. And it's also perpetuating, we're getting more and more and more and more closed off.
Yeah.
But it is uncomfortable. And it
Yes.
does take conscious redirection because that's where our programs, our mind, they want to take us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so it feels almost better to us sometimes to go with the story
Yeah.
because we don't want to sit in the discomfort of the nothingness, of the
Yeah.
non-attachment to it.
Yeah, and look, those are survival patterns that kept us safe when we were little and we didn't have Rachel and Jamie and all these amazing other teachers that say, "Oh, kiddo, detach and process and feel and alchemize." Um, our brain, without parents that are telling us that, just goes, "Let me put you in survival. Let's loop. Let's shut you down. Let's speed you up to get away from the tiger, whatever it may be." So, if you were experiencing that, massive compassion to us who go through those things, obviously. And something I've found along the way, because I've done a lot with trauma healing, is, um, if your brain is more comfortable staying in that, just welcome in like one breath of Rachel's exercise, and that's enough for the day. If like, oh wow, there's some heat, and we just go slow and we just bite off the edge because then the brain can go, oh, she's not going to throw me off the deep end. He's not going to throw me off the deep end and make me sit in the depths of despair all day. I can breathe a little bit of pulsing in my toes. Okay, I can do that. So it makes it's a kinder way to heal if we need it.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm sure you've experienced, Jane, but I just recently experienced where I was going through several days of alchemy
Oh,
without consciously really spending a lot of time on it.
mm,
But I was just naturally, I knew I was in a shift and I kept choosing the new internally, but not in a way that was like, I didn't have like this like outcome in mind, right? I just knew I was going through the shift and I kept choosing the new. And then I was thinking about it this actually today, and I was just like, oh my gosh, like last weekend I went through a giant shift and I didn't even feel it until today and
wow.
yesterday. Like, and so when you do that just one breath
Yeah.
or 5 seconds or that one redirection, you might not realize what you're doing until there comes a day when you can look back and be like, wow, look how much I alchemized without even realizing it.
Yeah. I love that too. That reminder of like sometimes it takes, like when we do this work in the quantum, it can take a minute to show up in the physical. And my teacher would always say too, like, stay in the lightness that you just experienced from that shift and let that be your proof. Not, well, but my dog's still chewing the bone. They didn't get up on the bed. And it's like, yeah, but from what you just did, is there a little bit of lightness, even in the uncomfortable sensation? Okay, yes. Well, then, like Rachel said, there will be days down the road or immediately. Sometimes things happen immediately. It's either or. Um, where it will show up in your reality.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, it is.
And so it is. Uh, yeah, I feel like that's kind of the energy we're in as we prepare for this 12/12 portal. It's just
Yeah.
allowing ourselves to navigate the energies, allowing the shifts. And I know that I want to get into the activation soon, but
Yep.
I know we talked about how to follow when you have a lot of different energies or a lot of confusion, and maybe you're feeling overwhelmed or bogged down at a crossroads, not knowing which way to go, surrendering that humanness, taking the burdens off of yourself, letting them fall away, and tuning into yourself and saying, in this moment, what brings me the most joy?
Mm.
And I know we're not the first teachers to ever talk about that.
We're not.
Actually, JK, we are. We totally are. Nobody's ever heard this. I
In our
guarantee
book, Rach.
it. We're the pioneers of joy.
uh,
um, but like before this, Jamie and I were talking about how in making decisions for life, but in particular, like what projects we're going to pursue, creative endeavors, and things like that, there can be a lot of options, but the times where we sat back and allowed ourselves to say, okay, this brings me the most joy, have been the opportunities that led to abundance, success, giant shifts, major changes, things like that. And so I'm also feeling, as we're preparing for this 12/12, laying down your burdens, and in every moment asking yourself, okay, what do I need? What brings me joy? Like I told Jamie before this, I had a lot of stuff to do today, but I wanted this wreath, and the only place that had it was 30 minutes away, and so I drove 30 minutes to get a wreath. And the whole time my mind's like, you don't have time for this, but I was like, no, this is me following my joy. And so the universe will bend. And you know what? I did have time for it. I wasn't rushed or running late to anything. And so it can be little things or it can be big things. I don't know if you want to speak to that, Jamie.
Yeah, and I'm feeling to bring this into the activation too is that devotion to joy, commitment to joy, choosing of joy, because like you said, I had to prioritize that in my day and the universe bent around it. And you're reminding me there's actually my boyfriend and I, we were in this intimacy training and they suggested to prioritize connection time, and it can look like anything. And I have that scheduled an hour today, and I'm going, oh, I have all these other things. Should I ask him if we can move it to the next couple of days? And now I'm realizing, wait, no, that brings me joy, having those moments of intimacy, the feminine, right, amidst all the masculine. Um, and so if I go, no, this matters, the day will bend around that. That is highest joy. And it can seem like how sneaky it almost happened, where my brain was like, your joy doesn't totally matter. We'll just put that on Saturday or Sunday.
Mhm.
Yeah. So a deep like commitment to it and understanding that it's valuable, because in this new earth we are a frequency, and it's our anchor. So like the way I see these two things coming together that we're talking about today is it's always a two-part process. It's meeting and alchemizing the energy that's here, and then also creating new, right? We're artists. And so, but I'm also going to start to navigate by what brings me joy and shift my frequency and allow new, beautiful, higher frequency experiences to come in. So that I'm not just always doing healing and this. It's like I also have this really cool thing in my GPS to go get a wreath. So
To go
there
get
you
a wreath. Exactly. And I love how you said it's a resonance, because that is new earth,
go.
and you have to defy the logical, how we logically think about things a lot of times. Like, of course, we have to still live as humans as
Yeah.
things are now, but in the new earth it's a resonance, it's a frequency. And when you gosh, it's so hard to like put into human words.
I know.
It's not, that's why we're being encouraged to let go of the mental patterns as we allow ourselves through joy, through grace, to shift into this new way of being where it's a resonance alignment rather than the, the old ways that we used to do things.
Yeah. Yeah. And yes, and I'm feeling so strongly spirit is wanting to get this phrase through of you can trust your joy. I thought I was like, this is crazy. This isn't going to put money in the bank. This isn't going to help me be seen or have friends or whatever. But it's like, oh my God, it is the thing to trust. It is the thing that's going to have your back and bring you a beautiful life. And very practically help you make sure that there is success and abundance in your life. And yeah, like you said, we balance the masculine and feminine. There's still going to be, I go in this direction and I do, and I have inspired action. But the gasoline we need to put in the car for the car to get on Joy Avenue is that deeper, what lights me upness.
Joy Avenue. Let's travel down Joy Avenue. That's great.
That's the title of our book.
Yeah. The first book ever written on joy. Driving down Joy Avenue.
Travel down Joy Avenue by Rachael and Jamie. Anyway, I think it's time.
It's time. It's time. So I'm feeling, and let me know if this feels aligned with you, but I feel what wants to come through me wants to come through first and
Go
then
ahead,
shift to you. Okay.
Yep. Perfect. I'll just anchor us in at the end, short and sweet.
Okay. So we are going to begin this energy activation. Both Jamie and I are channels for these divine frequencies, for spirit, the frequency of joy. If you would like to receive an energy activation for your highest and best good, whatever you need most of this time, please just say yes in your mind's eye. If you are able to, close your eyes. Coming into your body. And just noticing the sensations, as Jamie talked about earlier, in your body. Without attaching them to anything, just noticing. Nothing to do right now. There is nothing for you to heal, fix, do. Can you just be in the presence of spirit? And in this presence of spirit, we lovingly allow ourselves to bring forth now that which we've been carrying within our humanness. Anything that takes us away from our joy, what has that been for you? And in this, we honor both the internal experience and whatever you are experiencing in your reality. And just in this moment, can you release attachments and stories to it all? and come back to the presence of spirit. For this is where miracles lie. In that beautiful space that you have created. Can you sink into this energy just a little deeper? This freedom. Breathing it into the body. Can you deepen your breath just a little more? And I'm going to shift this now to Jamie to anchor us home in the new.
As you allow this beingness to expand, feeling a sense of your creatorship, power, vastness. Let's intend our precious joy to be our anchor, our navigator for abundance, friendship, success, love, fulfillment. Allowing these frequencies to upgrade your DNA with the truth that my joy is precious. Just breathing and allowing these in. My joy matters. My joy is more than enough. My joy is trustworthy. My joy is safe. I'm sorry to the one in me who didn't experience any of these truths. And I'm choosing it now. And give myself permission as I begin to move soon through the 1212 portal to notice and become intimate with what lights my heart, with what stirs my belly and excites my soul. As this is my contribution to humanity, to divinity. There is great value here. I choose it, I devote to it, I make it important to me. And then it will be important to others. So just explore and notice these little inner tingles and sparkles. And know that's the divine calling. Go here, go there, try this, that one. Yes. That is real and true and safe now. So taking one last breath in with this new choice. All your power back, all your energy back to your own body. No time, no space, known, unknown. You are here as the creator, alchemizing and blasting out joy, magnetizing more experiences of joy as you move forward. into the new earth. And as you feel ready, you can slowly start to deepen the breath. Feel your body on the seat. And gradually come back to all of us who love you. And so it is.
So it is. I'm always reminded of this one quote I saw. It says, we don't have to learn to live in our trauma. We're used to living in our trauma. What we have to learn is to live in joy. Because I know and recognize and honor from my own experiences that used to be very triggering for me. Because I was so used to not having any joy, not even knowing what that would truly be like to feel joy. And I also know that when you begin to open to it, then things do shift. So I honor where everybody is on their journey right now. And I intend that you received whatever it is that you needed from this activation, whatever you're ready for from this activation, in an authentic way. You know, sometimes this season is about pretending, putting on a mask, we're stressed out, but we can't show that sort of thing, or we're experiencing a lot of triggers because it's a certain time of year, but we're trying to put on a happy face. And so this is authentically, wherever you are, opening up to that alchemy and just opening to a new way of responding to the universe and letting spirit in.
Beautifully said.
Ooh, anything else before we complete today?
No, that felt so beautiful. I'm excited for what's on the other side of that. And like you said, this is a space where miracles are. I feel that with this one. That was extraordinary. Yeah, and Rachel and I think it's 1 week from today, right?
From when we're filming this, so I'll probably put this out a day or two after we film it. So
okay, so maybe 5 days, a little less than a week. We are doing one of our monthly activations
on the 12/12 portal.
Yes, on 12/12, and it's all about this: activating joy, navigating through joy, allowing in joy if joy hasn't been. Because me too, I had that experience, which is why I've had to create this new relationship with it and learn. My goodness, it was always safe. You weren't too much, kid. We all have reasons why we shut it down, but yeah, if you want to open up to your joy and learn how, I always say this, but joy is money in the bank. That's like I'm like an advocate for that, but joy is whatever you want it to be that's abundant. We're gonna come together and meditate and activate and Reiki and journal and all these beautiful things and dance to really go deeper into making this so.
Yeah, yes. We're calling it a party in the portal. We're going to be having a celebration. So for those, because I'm doing a mass activation, I'm doing an activation earlier in the day. So this is different than that. This is, it's like a celebration. It's an intimate, we talked about this a little bit, like, it's like a come as you are. Like if you're coming to a holiday party or a 12/12 portal party, like come as your most authentic self and whatever that means for you. And as we all do this, we ground in this new resonance and new frequency within ourselves and collectively.
Yes. So we'd love to have you. 90 minutes virtual.
Yep. 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, and I'll link to everything below.
Awesome.
I think we're complete.
Yeah. Bye, guys. Thank you. That was beautiful.
Bye.